What is up, guys? This is episode 21 of the Good Shit Podcast. I'm Oscar Cifuentes.
DJ DSP Sutherland.
And I'm Noah Griffith.
And hallelujah, we got at least one of our guys back. Welcome back to the show, brother.
The flamethrower has returned to us.
Yes.
The world's champion has returned.
There you go.
To the podcast this week. So happy to be back. I feel like I'm on my Ric Flair, taking time off and coming back.
Noah's been out here styling profiling away from us.
Exactly. I feel like
From
I got
Philly to New Jersey. He's styling and profiling.
If I wanted to get up and do my Ric Flair strut, and just do my slow walk, that's what I feel like I'd have to do.
Do it.
He just doesn't feel like it, but he definitely can.
I'm not doing that. It was like,
come on, man. You got to show the people how you style and profile, man. Come on. Show them your little Ric Flair drip.
I'll do it from here. I'll do the. And
there you
go. Woo! I can't even get the woo out of me, man.
Oh man, but it's good to have you back, brother. But
absolutely,
yeah. Before we get started, we want to send our thoughts, prayers, and condolences out to the family of Pat Patterson, who had passed early yesterday morning. This is probably one of the hardest hitting passings that we've had in the wrestling business this year. So, Pat Patterson, the very first Intercontinental Champion, and probably responsible for so many careers as, he took his role as a producer backstage and, given his guidance, his advice. And, and I was listening to JD, what was it, yesterday or today? And he was saying how, The Rock had even, kind of thanked Pat Patterson because, every big moment of The Rock's career was Pat Patterson's idea. So in layman's terms, we wouldn't have the great one without Pat Patterson. So
a lot of the ideas we see now, we wouldn't have had. Like Pat created the Royal Rumble, brought it up to Vince and Dick Ebersol. I think that was a fantastic thing. And, speaking not only just to my condolences as well to Pat Patterson and his family, I saw a YouTube clip yesterday from the Legends House. I think WWE put it out, and it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tony Atlas, Howard Fink, me and Gene Okerlund, Roddy Piper, Jimmy Hart, and I was just like, wow, if you really look in that picture, there were 8 men at that round table, and that's when Pat Patterson came out as gay, and I thought that was very profound and very inspirational in the process, especially holding on to something like that for 50 years.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking to myself, I was like, wow, me and Gene Okerlund, Pat Patterson, and Roddy Piper, if you guys or anybody just takes a look at that video, those 3 men were sitting right next to each other, and all 3 of them have passed away, which is crazy. And you have Jimmy Hart, and then, you got Howard Fink on the opposite side of the table, also passed away. Like half the men in that group of 8 passed away. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy to me. But again, just condolences to Pat.
No, absolutely, dude. And apparently he had been battling with cancer for a while, and it's just, the fact that, he never really, I don't think he's ever expressed his situation. So it's he's been fighting this on his own. So it's just holy crap, this guy fought for a long time, and now, I guess you could say he's healed. So again, our
guy said condolences to the family and Pat Patterson, may he rest in peace. But Pat Patterson is also a driving force behind a lot of stuff that went down in arguably the greatest era in wrestling, the Attitude Era. WWE would not be anywhere near the power it is without Pat Patterson's influence. Because, like we said, like the guy said, The Rock, his entire career basically came from Pat Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is seen as one of probably the top 3 greatest wrestlers.
Hey, he made it to the finals of our bracket, man. So that speaks volumes in of itself that The Rock essentially owes his legendary career to Pat Patterson, and you'd have to imagine he's
responsible for people like Stone Cold, helping with the Undertaker and all the other Attitude Era superstars that we got. So the wrestling world definitely lost a great one.
Absolutely, man. So, our thoughts, our prayers, our condolences to his family, and may he rest in peace. So, speaking of The Rock, so you guys saw Thanksgiving Day parade last week in that big ass balloon
Turtleneck fanny pack
of the
rock is real
turtleneck fanny pack rock. Like, just the sheer accuracy of that float was like, holy crap! They got it pretty much to a T,
Spot on.
like
And
spot on.
that was like one of the best floats I think I've seen.
Oh yeah,
Like
and
the detail.
yeah, and they said like, what's it called? Just in the fanny pack alone, there was like probably like 15 metric tons of like of helium in it, or whatever the case may be. But just how much helium is in the fanny pack? Can you imagine how much was in the
whole thing
balloon
That's
itself?
crazy.
But so the reason they had that float was because NBC is now in production of a show called Young Rock, which basically tells the story of The Rock's life from his childhood. So far, they've only mentioned that they're only going to his football career, from the University of Miami, and his childhood from being raised in such a wrestling impacted family to his high school and football career. But they've already casted a couple of guys to play like the younger version of himself, from his kid self to like his teens to even his like mid to even like adolescent adult years. So I'm just like, holy crap. So like they've got this all down, and they've even got actors playing these specific wrestlers: the Iron Sheik, Junkyard Dog, Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans, Andre the Giant, and even his own father, Soul Man Rocky Johnson. They have actors for all these guys. So I think, and if you look at like the pictures on his Instagram, like these guys are pretty damn close to like the real thing. Like that's just insane. But this is the question I want to ask you guys. They say it's only going from his childhood to his football career. If they go for however many seasons they get, do you think they will go to his professional wrestling career?
They have
I
to.
would have to think so, because if you think about it, most people don't know The Rock for football. A lot of people probably don't know that he did football. Most people remember him from wrestling and from acting. Now it's a Young Rock, so they're probably not going to get to the acting part. But I would have to think they would at least cover like the start of his career, like Rocky Maivia and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe his training and like
Like
what's
at
it
the
called, the
very
Rocky
start of his
Maivia.
career, you would have to think they would have to cover.
But
Yeah,
if
no,
that's
right.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, that's absolutely right. I feel like they're gonna have to at least cover the first part, where it's the very young aspect of Rock's career, just because it's gonna be a hit show. Like, let's be realistic. It's the great one, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment today, and still, all you got to do is just call it a day. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, what you're cooking there,
everybody
buddy.
knows what's happening after that. So it's just the mere fact of they're gonna have to, in my opinion, and it's gonna be a great show. But I think it's gonna extend into the first part of his career and show what he is now.
Now, this is something I'm pondering. This is like the TV and film guy coming at me. So I'm just like, how are they going to break this down? Are they going to like do like scenes from his childhood, like in like chronological order? Or are they going to do like, what's it
Jump
called?
around.
Like some scene, like jump around from like parts of his life. Like they do one scene from his childhood, one scene from like his teen years, and then another from his like early adult years. I'm trying to like ponder on that, because if they've already got actors for all three of those points of his life, like it's going to be difficult to just like in one season go from his childhood to his like early adult years. So I'm just like, that wouldn't make much sense to me, if they're going chronologically, that is.
I feel like if they go chronological, it'd probably be better to break it up into seasons. Like you have Child Rock, season 1. Then you got the next level. I guess that'd be like High School Rock, season 2, College Rock, Miami Rock, season 3, Career season 4, something like that. That would make sense to me
I was
personally.
gonna say that would make more sense to do it like that. You know what I mean? It's just like because then they could get actors to play, like Stone Cold, Triple H, even like Ric Flair if they wanted to. Just
But like
you know,
like you also mentioned, they already got people to play all 3 levels, so it may very well be like you jump around here, childhood, or like you start at Miami, then you flash back to childhood, go back to Miami, go to high school, relive something from his childhood, go back to college. It could very well be that as well.
Mm-hmm.
it's an interesting concept to like see what they're gonna do with this, and just judging from like the pictures on the Rock's Instagram again, like they've got they're doing scenes where you have the actors playing Wild Samoans and Soul Man in the ring, so obviously they're gonna probably do some scenes where he's probably cheering his dad on in the ring or his uncles or whatever, and just watching along the sidelines and just probably imagining what he's gonna be like as a professional wrestler, and it's probably going to jump to a scene where he actually is, he's coming into his own, probably jumping to like the Rocky Maivia phase in his career. But
Now that I
I don't
think
know,
about it, I'm thinking like maybe, probably not as
or
much
maybe
on the
not like
comedy
that.
side, but maybe like an Everybody Hates Chris type thing where they have people playing him, but he's narrating, like Chris Rock narrated for Everybody Hates Chris. I don't
It's
know if
true.
it's necessarily going to be a sitcom, but maybe something along those lines as well.
I mean, they said it's going to be like a comedy sitcom, so
Okay,
I would
so
imagine.
probably
So yeah, he would.
something along those lines.
I don't know. I'm actually just excited to see how they pull this off. You know what I mean? Because this is probably one of the only times they're doing a sitcom based on a professional wrestler. Like what other sitcom do you know is based on the life of a professional wrestler? And I'm not talking about the Big Show show. No, fuck that. No.
That's not. No, that doesn't count.
That, that that show was god awful.
That
You
doesn't
saw
count.
it?
I have. It was on when it was on Netflix. I
Well,
watched the first episode, and my lord, why did you have to do the Big Show? Like Big Show has gone through so many heel and face turns to heel and face turns. That was probably one of the worst shows they could have at least ever done. Like they have to stop doing Paul like that. I'm sorry. They killed my man. They can't be doing that. Like that it was bad. That show
I was
just
say Fighting with My Family, but that's a movie. It's not a sitcom.
yeah.
yeah,
That's that was okay. That was okay. It
I
wasn't.
have yet to watch it, and I have it on like my stuff to watch on
Your
Hulu.
DVR.
So,
Oh, you Hulu.
but anyway, so Young Rock is set to premiere sometime in 2021. So we're gonna keep an eye out for the premiere and maybe give you a review of the episode in the near future. So hopefully we get to that point. All right, so last night's Dynamite. We usually don't do reviews for shows, but God, I feel like we have to do this for
This
because of
one's an
last night's
exception. It
show.
was a pay-per-view as Dynamite.
Yes, this was
Hey.
a pay-per-view like episode of Dynamite. Winter is coming. Obviously, you can tell they had like the Game of Thrones theme because come on, even a non-fan of Game of Thrones like myself knew that was like the theme of it.
Mhm.
But you were gonna
The
say
Ice
something?
King returns. Yes.
Oh, we're gonna get to that, but I just want to break down. We're not gonna go over move for move the whole show because that would take more than 2 hours. Trust us. So we have first the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. I didn't know they were gonna keep doing that. I thought that was just gonna be a one-off and like just for like MJF to show off the diamond ring and use it. But I guess this is gonna be a yearly thing, and now we have a match set for next week between MJF and Orange Cassidy for the diamond ring. So I just want to ask you guys: do you think MJF gets another ring, or keeps it, or is Orange Cassidy just gonna stroll around with the diamond ring in his pocket?
I think MJF keeps his ring because that's become part of his gimmick now. So I can't really see him losing the ring to Orange Cassidy. Um, he very well may get a second ring to put on the other
That's
hand.
what I'm
So
thinking because I'm like, he has one, and if they do this every year, I guess they would make another ring to give it like kind of like a championship ring you give to athletes at the end of the season. So I'm just like, why not? Why not give the guy a second ring? Because
it probably add to his character. He make it work.
Exactly, you can make that work, and like you can have him Wardlow toss him one, he gets caught with it, and they confiscate it in the match, and then Wardlow tosses him a second one, and then boom, and then
So MJF has invented Diamond Knuckles.
Yes.
Yes.
That's actually an interesting concept, but
Tony, sign me up, bro.
I was saying, you need wrestlers and fans like writing this shit. So.
Hey, listen, Tony, if you need a writer, man, listen,
hit us up, man.
We're available.
5 amazing people that would be ready to write like this. Like you got,
and for minimum pay too, because we'll literally take anything.
I don't know.
Just give us some benefits, though.
Minimum pay and benefits, we'll take it, man.
If we could do it from our homes, absolutely. But
that's how they're probably doing it right now. You think they're going to the office in their office in Jacksonville?
Well, I feel like you never know.
Florida probably.
Like, because you know how some shit is. So I was like, maybe not. But
I don't see Tony Khan as the guy who's forcing his workers to come to the office. I'm pretty sure he's chill if he wants to let them work from home, fuck it. As long as they're doing their job, screw it. Yeah.
Take notes, Vince.
Yeah, right. Well, I was gonna say we're gonna try to keep the bashing the Vince to the minimum because we are talking about dynamite. Trust me. And so we had Britt Baker versus Layla Hirsch. That was like a 9-minute match. The thing I'm most interested in is the rivalry forming between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. And we've all noticed Britt Baker is not really the best, even though she was.
Some of those spots was kind of rough, specifically that sling blade on the outside.
Yeah, that's like.
She didn't really connect on that. If it wasn't for Hirsch, really trying to sell it,
Britt got half of that.
That's the thing. Again, I was listening to JD, and he said that Layla Hirsch on Dark is probably one of the best performers they have, one of the best women's performers they have on Dark, and the fact that they put her in the ring with Britt, and again, Britt's not the best, so, and obviously they want to make Britt a top contender, so they can't really have her lose to an unsigned, unknown talent, so it's kind of screws with Hirsch a little bit, but I just want to ask you guys, do you think this rivalry with Thunder Rosa will help Britt's moveset, or do you think it'll just show how much work she needs?
Honestly, I think it'll probably be the latter because also JD has pointed out on the podcast, Thunder Rosa don't really sell for a whole lot of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another thing too. Thunder Rosa's issue with selling. So,
and if Thunder Rosa wasn't selling for Eva Lise, who has legitimate offense, we just said Britt Baker's not the greatest. So I don't see Thunder Rosa selling too much for Britt Baker's offense.
As I say, that's another thing that's gonna throw me off because Thunder Rosa is not really the selling type. So it's if she won't sell for Britt Baker, how is this gonna affect this rivalry? Because that's probably really gonna show how green Britt Baker is and how much work she really needs done.
Because even as the heel, and being in a match with Thunder Rosa, Britt's probably doing most of the selling.
She still needs work, in my opinion. I think, but they do need some stars in that division.
That's the thing. It's they're stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to the women's division. That's the thing. And this rivalry is probably not going to help because we got, again, the issue with Thunder Rosa not really selling or taking bumps or whatever for anybody. Britt being as green as she is, and then you have who else can you really get to
Sheeta, but Sheeta hasn't been able to wrestle anybody because she ain't really got a whole lot of competition to work with.
Exactly.
Layla Hirsch just got there, so you can't really put her in the spotlight. Chris Statlander is at least on her way back, but she's still not going to be back for a while.
She's probably not going to be back until maybe mid next year. So
yeah, so Nyla Rose is Vicky. So I mean, she's
Say she just
kind
beat
of
Nyla, so it wouldn't make sense to throw Nyla back in the title picture again. Because if that's
yeah,
the
and
case, they
then
should have never taken it off Nyla.
exactly, and then there's not a whole lot else to go around with right now. So they're kind of at a stalemate with their women's division right now. Hopefully, this partnership that they seem to have entered will hopefully bring their women's division to another level.
And that's another thing. That's another thing we're gonna get to. So right after Britt Baker, we had Jericho versus Kazarian, and that was actually a pretty good match. But the end of it, you see MJF come out with a towel like he's gonna throw it in, like he did for Cody back in Full Gear last year. But then you have Sammy Guevara run out and grab the towel from MJF, and then Jericho sees Sammy with the towel in his hand, and all this shit stirs up, and now we have an ultimatum set for the whole faction of the Inner Circle. It's either you learn to get together to work together, or the Inner Circle is done. Where do you guys see this going? Like, because clearly Inner Circle is probably not going to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's probably on all our minds, right? Sure.
I see the MJF just got into the Inner Circle with Wardlow, but to be honest, I feel like I see the dissension happening slowly between like what's gonna happen is what MJF is trying to do. I feel like he's trying to sow the dissension, saying, "Hey, like Sammy's no good. He's shitless and worthless." Same thing for J.K. Hager. I was about to say Swagger. Excuse me.
We're still
No, that's not
adjusting.
him anymore.
Yeah,
He's still adjusting.
It's a past life.
still adjusting. That was his past
It was a
life.
bad idea from stupid creative.
Right. So, I feel like MJF is trying to like say like, hey, like Sammy's worthless. Kick him out. It's up to the point where like MJF is gonna manipulate Chris, and it's gonna be like, hey, take him out. He's worthless. Take him out. He's not gonna help you. MJF's gonna try to rebuild the Inner Circle in his image until Jericho sees it, notices it finally, and it's like, and then he's gonna like kick MJF's ass on it. But I feel like it's like pulling the
All over his eyes.
yeah, pulling the wool over his eyes. That's how I feel like was might happen. I feel like that would be like a longer story, and like it would actually kind of turn Jericho face.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
See, I agree and disagree with Noah at the same time. See, I think MJF is going to try and kill the Inner Circle from within and build it in his own image, essentially make it his own stable. But I think it's going to be MJF kicking out Jericho.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Jericho
That's
kicking
what I'm
out
thinking.
MJF,
Because
but Jericho's still becoming face.
yes, because that's like kind of solidified in like everybody's mind that Jericho's going to turn face, but I think this is going to be a situation where Jericho's going to get kicked out of the Inner Circle. Like they're going to work together, but it's going to be without Jericho. And there have been a lot of rumors saying that like Jericho's going to take some time off and work with Fozzy, probably record a new album, maybe go on tour, and then make a comeback. So this would probably be the opportune time for him to do it because they can give him the boot, kill him off, kind of like they do with like Bullet Club leaders when they're done, because like they usually like they beat the shit out of them and then like they take their exit.
Mhm.
So this would be a prime time for Jericho to make his exit, MJF to like lead the Inner Circle. Maybe give Sammy the boot if he wanted to, turn Sammy face, and just kind of manipulate the rest of them into doing his bidding. You know what I mean?
I definitely see that because it looks like it's in the cards that MJF is going to get Sammy. If he's not going to do it himself, he's going to get Sammy thrown out, and Sammy's going to go on a single space run. But yeah, I definitely think the Bullet Club thing is a probability more a possibility.
No, and I think it's probably the best time for Sammy to go on a babyface run because let's face it, like the rivalries he's had this past year have made him an even bigger star than he was when he first started. All his little stint with Darby Allin at Revolution last year, like that's still a match I will never forget. And I guess like Matt Hardy has elevated his career now, so this is again prime time for Jericho to get out and Sammy to make a babyface run. And hell, when Jericho comes back, he could probably him and Sammy could probably get together and face off, whoever MJF wants in the inner circle.
And even so, if you remember when they were doing well, I guess they are still doing the picture-in-picture, but when Sammy was holding up the cards, he was pretty over then, too, when he was holding up the cards during the picture-in-picture commercial. So he definitely has what it takes to be a babyface. And I think he is over that you could make the switch pretty seamlessly.
Absolutely. Very true. But, we'll see where this goes. Hopefully it goes the way we're thinking, but only Cody and the Bucks know that. And speaking of Cody, next we had Cody and Darby against Ricky Starks and
Powerhouse
Hobbs. Before we get to that, how do you guys feel about that? Going from Will Hobbs to Powerhouse Hobbs.
That's like naming freaking Dijakovic
Slapjack
T-bar
or T-bar, whatever the fuck it is.
I mean, like, come on, man. Like, let's not do the dumb shit that they're doing.
I don't think Powerhouse is quite as bad as T-bar, but
I was gonna say it's not as bad. But I'm like,
or maybe it's not as bad. You're right, DJ. It's not as bad.
I get what you're saying. No.
As Will Hobbs, like, why would you call?
Or maybe if they had called him Powerhouse Will Hobbs, like that would probably work better.
We just said Powerhouse Hobbs, like what? Or if you just wanted to do,
or just have it as an alternate nickname.
Yeah, and just
that's what I'm saying, like
Will Hobbs the Powerhouse or something like that.
Yeah, or just call him Hobbs. Whatever you wanted to do, just not Powerhouse Hobbs.
No. Don't cut his name now. This is not WWE. We're not just gonna call him Hobbs.
I was gonna say, at least they didn't cut his name out completely. Like,
well, yeah, that's true.
Like it's not like Matt Riddle, where now he's just going by Riddle. Now, so it's like,
or JD likes to call him the Riddler. Vince is trying to make him do a joke.
You might as well be at this point.
But no, I agree with Noah. The Powerhouse thing is kind of cheesy, but I was also listening to another podcast called Deadlock, and they said it's a very Taz-like name. So
I guess
it kind of makes sense that he's joined Team Taz. He fits the bill of it. He's a slightly smaller Brian Cage.
I was gonna say it's probably the best thing for him right now, because let's face it, as a face,
had no charisma.
What are really doing with him?
He had no charisma as a face. So a big guy like him being a heel just kind of fits seamlessly. He can just throw dudes around, dominate a match, and I think I'd like to see what he can do as a heel.
Not to mention, if you have Taz as a mouthpiece, like he's
exactly.
He's set, man. But you have Cody and Darby, Starks and Hobbs. They go for what? They went for 20 minutes, 15.
Yeah, they went a good amount of time.
It was a good match. But what happened at the end? Oh,
Winter is here.
Winter is here. I kid you guys not. I was like, because you see the lights go out, and you see this little this vignette on the Titantron, and it's all these. It's like an actual winter look, and then you just see his name, and I shit you not, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, fuck.
He's there, Tony.
Yeah. And if you don't know what I'm saying, the icon Sting has made his return to TNT after 19 years, man.
I'm not gonna lie, that snow effect was cool.
I was gonna say, the
was the first time Floridians have ever seen snow. So
I was gonna say that was probably the dopest thing they could have done for an entrance right there. Just the fact that he comes out and it's fucking snowing on the stage,
in Florida.
That was a beautiful, beautiful thing. But honestly, when I was watching that and I saw the crow, I was like, no.
Yeah, I saw the crow. I was like, no.
I was like, nah.
No.
I was like, nah.
It's somebody else.
I was in full denial. I was like, no way. And then I see him like, oh shit. Yeah. I'm at my sister's house yesterday, and I wake up my poor niece and nephew with my screaming. I'm like, yo. And you're like, yo, Theo, what are you screaming about? I'm like, just
Shut
And
up.
like,
You
my
understand when you're
sister
older.
and my sister's looking at me all weird, and I'm like, "Well, you?" She's like, "Well, you're excited." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is the guy I went as for Halloween." Just like
Yeah, I honestly, like I said, when I saw the crow, I was like, nah, I
it's
can't. Don't do that. Tony, stop playing with me.
And
Tony,
what
stop.
made it better, I think no one really suspected
that's the thing. They
winter is
said
coming to be
like
Sting.
you saw. I was reading reports from like Bleacher Report and all the dirt sheets, and they said that like no one knew that he was coming. I think the only people that knew were like Tony and Cody. That's it.
You have to admit, they did a really great job keeping this a secret.
Word. Like
Fantastic job. 'Cause
And
Darby was
then he signs for a
yeah,
multi-year deal.
multi-year deal. They have him for 2 years. And the fact that, yeah, he has merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees, and he's already broken the record for most
He
T-shirt
broke
sales
the record in 15
24
hours.
hours. And, like, I saw the post at, like, 12:30 today, and it had already been out for, like, an hour. So, like, it said – so to think, he broke the record at around 11:30 this morning, and his debut was at, what, like 7 o'clock last night?
yeah,
Uh,
like
closer
around
to
seven.
9, but yeah,
Oh yeah,
closer to 9.
closer to 9. My fault.
It starts at 8, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
But
thinking West Coast time. I don't know
I
why.
will say AEW pulled a WWE audible there where as soon as this man came out, they had merch ready.
Oh yeah, like
No,
I
but
saw like all the
Thursday.
merch, and I was like, "Yo, I'm getting on it," because like after that segment ended, I was on my phone on ProWrestlingTees.com, and I already put this T-shirt on my wish list, and the hat to go with it. Yeah,
No, you had to. I honestly, I was about
but
to
like,
order. I'm gonna order a long sleeve shirt actually.
dude,
Now's the
but yo,
time.
the fact that he broke the record for most T-shirt sales on Pro Wrestling Tees in less than 24
He
hours.
broke that shit in 15 hours.
Yeah, if you do the math, 9 o'clock to like 11:30. Yeah, that's like 15 or 14 and a half if we want to get technical.
That's crazy.
But
That's I was like, just overall, I was just like, wow. I was like, and I was jumping out my seat too. I was like, this is real. I was like, Sting is on TNT. Like, yeah,
yep,
Tony Schiavone just saying, it's Sting. And I don't know, like the hairs. I don't have that much hairs on my arms anyway. But like
You
the
felt
hair,
it.
I feel like I
you
felt
had
just
the hair on your arm sticking up, the goosebumps,
yeah,
the chills going down your spine. It's like
right,
Sting
right. And
on
then
fucking TNT. And you got to
and
think about it. The last time he was on TNT back in 2001
you were
was
four. Wow, I
I
was
wasn't watching wrestling though.
It was
yeah.
2001 after, before Nitro got canceled. Yo, 19 years he's been away from TNT. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Just he didn't have to say anything. It's one of those moments
Yeah.
in time where it's timeless. You don't have
Yeah.
to say nothing. It's just the atmosphere. It's the brevity of all of it.
And
It's just
I
wow.
It's like
yeah.
when Undertaker comes to the ring and you've seen it for the first time. Like, it's a spectacle. You just watching it. You don't need
Yeah.
to hear him say anything. You just take in the moment.
Like when I went to go see Undertaker at MSG with a friend first time, and like just the entrance, like you're just in awe. Like that's how I felt watching from the TV. Like watching from the TV, just I was like in awe. Like watching him come out slowly, just watching him take out the bat slowly. Like
Yeah,
just
yeah. 'Cause
iconic moment that he
well,
had with
and the fact,
Darby.
again,
That
he didn't
picture.
say a word, and all he did was
He
go
didn't
up
need
to
to.
Cody, to Arn, and then he has a face-to-face with Darby. Like, and that's
Like
like,
that.
and I brought up this question in our group chat earlier today. I'm like, is this going to be a rivalry, or is Sting going to be his mentor?
I
Why
think it's going
not
to be more
both?
like a mentorship,
I
personally.
too.
Because if you think about it, Sting and Darby Allin look very similar with their face paint. So I jokingly said it's like a father meeting his son, but I think I think it's going to be more like Sting building them up in a mentor like role.
Mm-hmm. I see it too.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening because Darby being the enigma he is, and Sting being the legend he is today, like Darby could benefit from some help from Sting, and like hell, maybe we may see Sting pass the torch and give maybe the Scorpion Deathlock or the Scorpion Death Drop to Darby.
Darby seems more like a death drop than a death lock, considering he does a coffin drop and nearly sends himself to death all the time.
I was gonna say this could also be better for Darby because like he doesn't have to risk his back
He
going on
won't
the
have
top
to
rope.
possibly break his back on an apron every time.
Yeah, exactly. Like you literally just have the guy prepped and just drop him to the floor.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see Darby as much of a submission guy, but
I mean,
I
he
think
has submissions, but it's like
I
that's
think
gonna
the
be
Scorpion death drop would probably work out better for him personally. I think.
I think so too. I think it's going to be more of a you are right. That's in terms of a mentorship. I think it's the face of TNT against like with the TNT champion, and I think that
not to
they're gonna
mention what's getting help from pretty much the guy who was the former face of TNT.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
again, passing the torch along. Hell, I just thought of this. What if like if Sting mentors Darby? What if Darby trades in the skateboard for the bat?
Or bad. Ooh. What if he pulls out both?
Or yeah, just rides
What if he
down to the
brings the bat in
ring
hand
on
on the board?
like, or he rides to the ring on his skateboard with the bat
Yeah.
like behind his head. Like
Well, I see what you're saying. I think, but for Darby, I kind of feel like he also needs to have something of his own because everybody knows when they see the black bat, like Sting.
it's Sting. That's the
Anonymous.
thing.
Yeah.
But like
I'm
I
just
think
like
Darby has his own. Darby will have the potential to be revolutionary, and I think it's a skateboard, but like hell, you never
he's
know.
caused a lot of damage with that skateboard too. So
Right. So I just think stick with it, but just having that mentorship with Sting.
I know. I just always see like when you have a legend mentoring like a younger talent, I feel like it's always kind of like a tradition to like pass the torch of like one something of theirs, to give it to the younger talent. Like I don't know what does like Cody have with Arn? Like it's not really the spine buster thing because like that's basically what Arn's known for. Like Cody has pulled it off, but it's like not something that he uses all the time. And I guess that's kind of a better thing they do because like yeah, it's one thing to like have your younger talent use a finisher you used. It's another to
Perfect
have them
special
to
spot.
to repeatedly use it and pretty much just kill the move. So maybe it's a thing where maybe they combine the two and like Sting passes on the bat to Darby and Darby covers it in thumbtacks to use it. Yeah.
Oh my God! All right, Tommy
I'm
Dreamer
just
out here.
I'm just going I'm just like bullshitting ideas here, man.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, bro.
But come
I
on, tell
think
me
one
tell
thing
me
for
that wouldn't
sure.
be tell me that wouldn't be like I wouldn't say like the greatest idea, but it's kind of a dope idea
All right, Columbine clearly wants ECW back,
though.
but
I'm
I
sorry,
think it
like
goes without saying that
Darby's
Darby
character
Allin
fits
is
it. Like
Darby Allin's a future star. Well, he's already a star. He's a future superstar, X Factor in the making for TNT and AEW.
He's gonna be great. I think just that it's hard. It's hard to like really put into words like where this can go.
yeah, because there's so many things like that could happen from like now going forward with
Right.
between if and that's if they want to pair Sting with Darby Allin, and I'm like, why wouldn't they? Or hell, maybe
Looks like
maybe
it
the
both
most
is
they
out.
pass down to Darby's like the face paint. Like instead of like Darby doing like the half skull thing, maybe he does like half his face painted like Sting. I don't know, just something,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something crazy, but I'm just so excited for Darby. Just so excited for AEW. So excited for TNT. You have the icon, you have the legend. Like I'm sorry. Like
Again, we're still amazed over the fact
yeah,
that Sting
That
is
he's
on
even here.
TNT now, and again
yeah, I'm sorry.
signed for 2 years. So they
Oh,
obviously have some plans for him.
I have faith that AEW and Tony will actually use him correctly, Vince.
Oh, they
Oh,
will.
yeah.
They will. They will. I
No
know
question
that.
about it.
There's no question.
Vince.
All right. Well, before we go on a whole what's it called? A whole fandom on Sting. Let's finish it off with the title match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title. So this was a great match. Probably not a pay-per-view level match, and certainly not what they had at Full Gear last year.
It was a Dynamite main event match.
Yeah, it was a good Dynamite.
It was a good Dynamite main event match.
And you have Don Callis on commentary, one of the executive vice presidents of Impact Wrestling, on commentary, who's basically giving his opinion more on Kenny Omega because I guess they're tight. So it's like so having Don there, and you see towards the end, Kenny looks unconscious. I guess he was faking it, and Moxley throws him back in the ring. Don comes out with the mic saying he's hurt, like kind of like telling him to stop the match. And all of a sudden you see Don toss the mic to Kenny. Like, well, you didn't really see it because I didn't catch it at first glimpse. I had to go back and watch it to see where he slipped the mic to him. So I'm just like, how did he where?
Yeah,
and then
how did it happen?
And then he bashes Mox in the face, cuts him open. One Wing Angel, and Kenny Omega is now the new AEW World Champion. And this was actually kind of a shocker to me because while I was watching this match, I was kind of researching topics for obviously tonight's episode. But I saw that Tony Khan had a media call, and one of the things he confirmed was Mox isn't going to Japan for Wrestle Kingdom. So that would have made more sense to me. If Mox lost last night, he loses the title, he goes to Japan, quarantines for a little bit, and then makes his appearance at Wrestle Kingdom, defends the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship against whoever the fuck they want. But the fact that he confirmed that he's not going to Japan for Wrestle Kingdom, that kind of threw me off a bit. You know what I mean?
Tony also, he doesn't really have a track record of it, but it also could have been a smokescreen where he said it, where you go into Dynamite not knowing if Moxley's actually going to lose the title, and then they pulled this so that it's still a surprise that Moxley actually lost the title.
Very true.
That's very true.
But now they're calling this the Jacksonville screw job, the way they pulled this off. And that just made me laugh a little bit because I'm like, I wouldn't call it a screw job. A screw job is
not what we know about the screw
jobs. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely not a Montreal.
Obviously it was a fuck finish, but it's a screw job is having executives or refs in on it. This was just tossing a guy a foreign object for him to bash his opponent with.
The screw job would have been more like if Callis struck Moxley and took him out behind the ref's back when he wasn't looking or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But
he distracted Moxley, but that's not what happened.
No. And the fact that, the end of the match comes and you have Don and Kenny just running through Gorilla, through the backstage area, out into the parking lot. And then you have Alex Marvez coming up to them guys, what just happened? And Don Callis says, you want to know what happens? Find out on Tuesday. But Dynamite's on Wednesday. No, Tuesday on Impact Wrestling on Access TV. So just from that, we all know ratings for Impact are going to go through the fucking roof. So
it might only be for 1 week, but goddamn it, Impact is going to see some viewership.
So this is now the question. Do you think we're slowly starting to see a partnership or a merger between AEW and Impact?
I think it's a partnership. I think it's going to be very beneficial for both, honestly. I feel like you can incorporate a little bit more. How you have Kenny still has the AAA.
He still has the AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah, Kenny still has the AAA Mega Championship. So, granted, it's COVID, can't really go anywhere. But, I think you're going to do more stuff like that where, he defended it on Dynamite. I believe, right? So
I think he's defended it maybe twice on Dynamite.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility where he could defend it. He might defend the AEW World Title on Dynamite one time or 2 times, and it might have some cross promotional as well. You might see the Good Brothers in the tag division,
the Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City Machine Guns. Like,
Oh, you can see the Impact Impact women on AEW's women's roster. That would definitely help bolster their women's
Like that's
division.
another thing too. Like we're bringing in, we
yeah,
have NWA women coming in. We have, obviously, and we got Ricky Starks from NWA. Kenny's holding a AAA championship. He's gonna show up on Impact now, and
Mox has
they
a
have
New
they have
Japan
yeah they have a
championship.
partnership with New Japan. So like, can you again? And this is coming from another thing that I think DJ, you sent it in the group chat where you see like the Avengers as different promotions because you have the
yeah.
AEW as Captain America, freaking AAA is a Hulk and whatever. It's
That was
just like,
I'm not
That
gonna.
was
That was like
huge. But
five.
but I'm like, if we have all these promotions working together, how much of an impact is it actually going to make for the business?
A
I
lot.
think it's going to be huge for the business because if you're working on the indies, well, no one's really working on the indies right now for obvious reasons, but you're going to have all these avenues that you can go to where instead of WWE having to come find you, you can maybe work for Impact and end up on New Japan, or you can end up in AEW, or you work on Dark and you end up on a different promotion or something like that. So I
Yeah,
think it's going to be huge.
because if they have all these talents coming in, like I don't want to say it's gonna be a clusterfuck, but I'm just like, you have all these talents, all their big stars are obviously gonna want championship from wherever they are. Could we see like maybe biggest name in Impact? I don't know, being I guess because the world champion right now is Rich Swann. Could we see him maybe go up against Kenny in like maybe a title for title or just like something like brand supremacy type thing? And like maybe throw in guys from like AAA or like um, I'm blanking here, NWA, just all these guys.
I could see that happening. I think with the with Impact and what AEW is doing now, it opens up so many doors and it shows more of a collaborative effort. And I don't know about you guys, but the like how we're all talking about this now, and with DJ saying the thing about the Avengers, just makes me think about the Captain America scene where he's by himself, and you just hear uh Falcon just say Cap on your left, and like you just see like someone just swooping. You just see Falcon just swooping in, and I'm sorry. I was just thinking about like AEW's Captain America. You got Impact as on
I mean, if
AEW.
you make sense,
You know,
AEW probably would be Captain America because they're the ones bringing all of them together.
I was just say because AEW has quickly become the second largest promotion in the U.S.
In
So like it
just over
makes
a year.
sense in just over a year. So like the fact that they would be the one leading the charge because again AAA is more Mexico, which is probably going to be probably one of the more interesting ones because you have the Lucha Libre style coming into AEW, maybe Impact and NWA like who knows.
Triple A could help win the Trios Championship. That's probably coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, actually, that's another thing that was mentioned on that media call that Tony Khan had, that he's actually considering uh, bringing up trios titles sometime in 2021.
But how many
So,
groups they got? I think it's a foregone conclusion. We're getting the
like it
Trios. Title.
it has to happen at this point.
that makes the most sense. Like give like more people more like not titles per se, but it makes things much more marketable. So
Yeah, and not to
people.
mention if you're gonna have all this fresh talent coming in from different promotions, kind of vying for all these titles, it would make sense because I know AAA has a lot of trios teams because
And plus, AEW's tag team division is already full as is. You don't need
and
to add
they're
more
still
tag teams.
growing because of guys like the Acclaimed and Top Flight.
Yeah,
And
they
I
just
am
brought in
so
2 tag
impressed.
teams.
Can we just touch on Top Flight for a sec? Because those guys are fucking impressive.
AEW is definitely not going to be missing tag team talent anytime soon.
Because if they're bringing in all these talents and like Impact has got some good tag teams too. Because like I'm thinking of a good match right now: Top Flight against the Motor City Machine Guns. Come on.
Like I said, AEW tag team division is not going to be a
It's
point
not
of
going to be an
worry
issue right now.
anytime soon.
If anything, where AEW is going to benefit most from all these promotions working together is probably their women's division, because Impact has got a good selection of women from
They have
Tyler
an excellent women's division.
and Deanna
Deanna
Purrazzo.
Purrazzo.
Come on, like.
I love Deanna Purrazzo.
The virtuosa.
And
that's definitely going to help them. Go ahead.
And hell, if they have this partnership with New Japan, and maybe New Japan brings them Stardom to the mix.
Oh,
say that.
It's a wrap.
I mean, obviously we'll get more Joshi stars, but still, like it's like more talent.
They got a following over there. They be fine.
Now the question, or go ahead before I bring up the next question.
I was going to say, think about like this and too, and hear me out now, and 2-3 years from now, book it. If I'm right on this, I'm right on this. It's either going to be, and I'm thinking hypothetically speaking, it's either going to be All Out or it's going to be Wrestle Kingdom. That is going to be like the big cross promotional show where like you have AEW, Impact, AAA, Ring of Honor. You have like that card. But
that was actually going to be my question. Where does Ring of Honor stand in all this?
I was going to say, I could also see them doing just a completely different super show entirely, like G1 Super Climax was at the Garden that I happened to go to.
I was going to say, because like if you bring Ring of Honor into the mix, because New Japan and Ring of Honor do have a working partnership, and they do have their own cross-promotional pay-per-view. Again, DJ went to it without inviting us.
Look, man, that was a last-minute decision, bro. I bought the ticket like that day, all right?
No, it's cool. I'm just fucking with you, but
I bought it that night.
But no, because they have the G1 Supercard. So if you mix in, all out, and I don't know, I think Impact still does Bound for Glory. Like, just do one event for all these promotions to come in. That would be. Oh boy, I can't even think of.
It's going to be like a 7-hour WrestleMania-like show, but
oh my god,
it's going to be probably booked a lot better than WrestleMania has been booked.
Like do you see like the vid like that? Oh my god.
Noah's just trying to picture this whole event in his head right now.
I was picturing the super show with 5 different companies.
If they put all their things together, they could hold that event at like the Caesars Palace that Jaguars play. They could hold it there.
Hell, I just thought of this.
That's a better copyright of WrestleMania.
I was gonna say, hear me out on this one. Imagine they do something like a Survivor Series type deal with like one guy or like one guy from each promotion on the team.
Oh.
Like you could have like Kenny, I don't know, Rich Swann, Okada. Who's a big star in Ring of Honor right now? Freaking.
I don't know.
Oh man,
Ring of Honor.
Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor.
You would know the AAA guy more than we would.
AAA, you would think, but there's like, there's too many guys in AAA for me to like try to think of who would take the spot for AAA. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you have one guy from each promotion on each team, because like on the opposite side, you could probably have like, I don't know, Jericho or Mox or whoever, and then freaking, I don't know. It's just like just so many different options you could have, because like I'm drawing a blank on, because it's too much talent to.
Oscar, I'll stop you right there. Not even anything, but just take my money.
Yo, they can't put that type of. Assuming we get back to normal capacity by the time this happens, they can't have this in a tiny ass little arena. This can't be held in no Madison Square Garden, dog.
No, this would
have
to be
put like SoFi Stadium or Allegiant Stadium or something like that.
This is something, This is something like a MetLife Stadium, or hell.
Nah, MetLife might no.
At best case scenario, Tokyo Dome.
Yes, Tokyo Dome, but like I want it to be in the States.
Of course, we have to be one in the States. But I'm talking like probably one of the biggest arenas in the world for professional wrestling has to be the Tokyo Dome.
That's a lot of mileage for a lot of different people, though.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. If they do it in MetLife,
MetLife would be
We
a
ain't
good
gonna get
spot.
tickets. We ain't gonna be able to get tickets for how fast it's gonna sell out.
Word, yo. We'd
They
have
got
to
to
be
put
on
that
the
in, like,
waiting
Jerry
list for
World.
like a month in advance before we get those tickets.
They have to put that in Jerry World because that's 100,000.
Listen, we gonna be there, okay?
Yeah.
We gonna make a concerted effort to be there just for your entertainment. 10 hours.
I don't care I don't care what the situation is. We will be there, okay?
Look, as long as we're not behind a ramp again. I want to actually be able to see the entrance.
Word.
Like we will be there. I promise you. I promise everyone that watches this video, the 5 of us will be there because that is like
That is too big of a
That's
show
a
for us to
revolutionary
miss.
show.
That's too big. Like that is something that's once if we say we went to the first one, like, man, I'm sorry. That's I don't even know how to describe that. That's like
Like I will give up my life savings to go to that show.
We gonna make a way.
We gonna make a way.
I didn't say all that, Oscar. But
I'm saying that. I'm saying I would give up my life savings to go to this show. Yeah.
We'll start GoFundMe. Y'all can help us get there.
But like,
oh boy.
For us and just for everyone that watches this video, just think about that. Like, tantalize about. Just let that sit in your mind and just think about so many different options, so many different scenarios, so much of what a show you could do with that, and how you and still being cross promotional, how you could still build rivalries off of that takes it to their own shows on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, on whatever the case may be. I promise everybody this: if that happens, Vince, I'm not even gonna mention him. Excuse me. You want to edit that part out? Like the company, that company will shit its pants completely.
Oh,
or
yes.
They have a heart attack. And if you do it in the same state.
Oh, if he does it in MetLife, they're basically doing it in WWE territory because Vince likes to claim.
No. If you
tri-state area.
If you really want to get on WWE territory, I know it's too small of an arena.
You can't do it in the Garden, dog.
I was gonna say they would have to do it in the Garden. It would have to be
like a 5-night event to do it in the Garden, dog. The Garden ain't going
like
to
a
that
full,
kind of space.
Not even a 5-night, like a WrestleMania weekend type thing. Like start the show on Thursday and then on Sunday.
Garden's only 20,000 though. They gonna need like 70 for that shit. For 5 promotions to come together and 5 relatively big promotions to come together, the Garden ain't gonna be big enough. It'll be prestigious enough, but it's not gonna be big enough to hold all those people.
Honestly, you know what they could do too? Madison Square Garden, Nassau, Madison Square Garden, and Nassau.
Oh, kind of like the way they did like Raw 25 from like the Hammerstein and the Barclays.
Oh, so like a little New York bubble there.
Yeah, you see
okay.
like you have one match here, another match there, and then another one
right, and
wherever.
you got the video board. Like Tony, if you're listening, make it happen, brother. Make it happen. If anybody from Don Callis, if you ever see this video, make it happen. Anybody from AAA, if you see this video, make it happen. Our Ring of Honor.
Hold up, if you're sending the message to AAA, let me do it. Si están escuchando, por favor, haz el favor para nosotros. Yeah.
Please. Gracias.
Also, if y'all got any openings, we are open for advisory roles.
Oh man. So before we end off, I just want to give the whole ratings jazz of last night's episode because this is too good not to mention. So this is according to all the ratings reviews. So this was the best rating Dynamite has had in 2020. 913,000 views, which was up 28.6% from last week. A 0.42 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is 61.5% up from last week. So that is a big spike.
Surprised they didn't break 1 million. I'm be honest.
Well, I was gonna say,
they didn't break 1 million.
Well, obviously if they had announced Sting beforehand, they probably would have broken 1 million, but it wouldn't have had the same.
It wouldn't have had the same impact. No pun intended.
Yeah, you had to like just let it sit there and marinate.
Yeah. Plus the fact that if you think about DVR recordings and playbacks and all that, they're probably gonna
They'll
break.
hit 1,000,001 probably. They'll probably get to 1,000,001.
Hell yeah. Oh boy, but this has been one hell of an episode of Dynamite and one hell of an episode for us because we are just so hyped thinking about everything that could happen if we start off with this AEW Impact merger, if it happens.
And we got the flamethrower to return to us.
Yes, sir. back with us for a night. But thank you guys for joining us once again. This has been episode 21 of the Good Shit Podcast. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. You know the whole deal. Until next time, I'm Oscar Cifuentes.
DJ DSP Sutherland.
And I am the flame-throwing world champion.
Play with your chest.
There you go. There you go. Now we got the woo out of him.
Oh, no, Griffith. No, Griffith.
And we will see you guys next time. Take care.